Hi everyone, my name is Dorian Tabibian, and I'm going to talk to you about my assignment, which is based on the propositional disposition. Um, my role as a student special educator is to be very supportive and motivational. Okay, let's get started. Number one, what is a special education teacher's role in supporting learning, improving, planning, and practice, upholding professional expectation and ethics, and collaboratively advancing the professions? Okay. Which I said it is very important to be very motivational when it comes to my students. I like to be very personal when it comes to the learners that I'm teaching. In my career, most likely I would come across with many students with different types of backgrounds. It can be Persian, Armenian, Spanish, and can come from other countries. And based on my role, it is vital to give a lot of support when it comes to my students as a special education teacher. And in result, engagement is also the key. Okay? I have to set a professional standard when I'm on the job. So it's best to dress appropriately whenever going to the job. And so regarding in ethics, it plays a very big role as a profession, as a special education teacher. An example of other professional can be like psychologists, special educators, or speech therapists. So these professionals are very helpful in collaboration in an everyday classroom. Okay. What disposition that you currently possess will help you become a successful teacher? What disposition do you need to work on before you enter a classroom as a first-year teacher? Well, the thing that I'm really good at is I work very well with my peers. So if you work very well with your peers, it's a very good sign. So based on my disposition, I need to be more confident, which is important, and be myself. And I also, me personally, I have to be very motivational and have a lot of positive reinforcements to my students. I need to put a lot of effort when it comes to teaching. I also need to set a very strong personal approach when it comes to my career as a special educator. I also need, this is very important, I also need to be a very good listener, and I have to give a lot of positive feedbacks to my students. It can be negative feedbacks too, but mostly positive feedbacks. And this will help me be a good teacher. And based on my experience, I have heard that whenever I ask a lot of questions, it will help me become a better teacher, because you can always have a second opinion, or they could give you an advice. So that's what I've learned. And yeah, especially if you have issues, whenever you have like a behavior problems or issues, you could always have another person help you. Nothing bad with it. Okay, last one. What effect could personal bias have on expectation that teachers have for their students? How could these bias affect the relationship with students and their family? Well, the effects of the personal bias could have is not to do stereotyping when you're on the job. It would not look good as a special education teacher, and how these biases affect my relationships with my students. So these would affect a lot with my students. Their families. And it could also affect their relationship with their families. And most likely it will put my students down. And then, which would obviously lead to possible stereotyping, discrimination. So stereotyping is discrimination. So never ever do that while you're on the job. I also, in conclusion, I have to work with various types of diverse learner with different backgrounds. So obviously, whenever you're in the everyday classroom, you're going to have students with various backgrounds. So you have to be ready for that. And culture in an everyday classroom. So you'll learn at the same time. You'll learn from different cultures. That's what I like about it. Okay, thank you so much. And thank you for watching my deposition video.